name is Refael Cohen. I'm from a company called Chorus AI, and I'm going to talk about how to extract insights from conversational data, specifically to make your sales organization sell a lot more. So the first question and the motivations, do conversations matter? So everybody before me was talking about click rates and tweets, but conversations are still here. If we look to the corporate realm, we see that most customer interactions happen face-to-face or over the phone. It is reported that about 92% of the interactions really happen in calls or online meetings. And right now, this is a black box, or used to be a black box, where you can't create any information from it. We like to say that one of the corporation's most valuable assets after its people are its customer interactions, because these are the people that you sell to and that you build your products for. And given our conversations with our customers, we'd like to improve them, but you can't improve what you don't measure. When we go to the sales world, we see that we have the classic distribution, where a few number of sales representatives in your sales organization are making most of the sales. We would, of course, like to replicate their approach and their abilities into the rest of the 80% of the sales organization that does a little worse than they do. Why do conversations matter for that problem? When we listen to conversations, we can find out what do the best sales representatives say. What is the key phrase that you need to tell somebody so they will buy your product? What do your customers care about? What do they ask for? What bothers them when you present your product to them? What's the perfect pitch when a competitor comes up? What should you say when somebody says something to you? So all that is currently locked into the conversations, which are usually not even saved, but if they are saved, they are just a huge recording that administrators and people can't really access easily in order to improve. So what is the field of conversation analytics? We'd like to find and share the moments that matter. So you can point out what the next steps of the meeting were when you prepare for your meeting. You can find what the customer pain points were, what they wanted to buy your product for. Find all the key ingredients in the call. This allows you to coach effectively. So when our company, when Chorus has a new salesperson, instead of just shadowing somebody else for a day and then being sent out into the deep water and starting to sell the product, they can listen to all the important moments. How do we put up that product when we explain what it does? How do we find out the pain points? What are normally the pain points of these customers? We can deliver a call summary and key points automatically. So Ido mentioned summarizing tweets. We would also like to do the same thing for calls. Salesforce announced a huge summarization algorithm on emails just this week. So summaries can help people ingest a lot of information easily, and we'd like to enable our customers to do the same with recordings. Finally, the holy grail for us is live guidance. So we would like to be, like secret service people with somebody whispering all the right answers in our ears. When somebody tells you something, you don't have to come out of the meeting and then say, oh, this is what I should have said. Hopefully, we'll be able to whisper it in your ear. This topic was mentioned, and these are the 4 key talking points when this comes up. Finally, outside of the realms of the sales representatives themselves, the entire organization can grow and learn what do the customer really want, what's the right features we need to productize, what are the bugs that annoys the people the most when they talk to our customer satisfaction representatives. So this was the motivations for this new field of conversation analytics. And this talk is going to revolve around the high-level problems of what happens when you try to solve, take this data of recordings and turn it into actionable information that helps people. So I'm going to touch a little bit on a bunch of subjects using a toy problem from the real business world in order to see why we need a complete technological stack for this sort of data analysis. So first, we get acquainted with our task. But before we start with the task, I'm guessing most of you are not experts on sales. So I'll give you a very, very quick inside sales course. And some of you in previous year may have heard about the first side of this, which is the lead generation. We actually, our market is about a different kind of person who are the account executives. So these people sell expensive stuff. They sell you a car, they sell you a house, they sell you a software license for $150,000. So their time is expensive. These are not tweets or clicks. I mean, each interaction is very, very expensive. And they make a lot of online meetings using WebEx or Zoom or any other such video conferencing tool. The sales cycle starts with the leads that you may have heard of. Then a sales development person calls up the customer, the prospect, and tries to find out if they could even use your product or tool. Once they're qualified, you get to the discovery call, which is where I'm going to stay in this session. The discovery call is where the account executive has a meeting with the prospective customer, and they need to both find out why is that person willing to invest this large sum of money in my product. What do they need? What do they know about the product? What do they know about the industry? Do they really need it? What do they need it for? What should I sell them on? Because most products have more than one feature, so we have to find out what the customer needs, what are their pain points, why are they looking to buy, who else is making the decision except for the person I'm talking to, what is the amount of money they are willing to spend. So we have all of these big questions, and we don't only have to get the information from the prospective customer, we have to also provide them with our information. So why is our tool so great? Why is our tool the perfect solution to their pain points? So this is a quick protocol. We are educating the customer about what the tool does, what our framework does, what the product does, what this industry does in general, while we're eliciting information from them. Afterwards, usually there might be a demo or proposition detailing what you are going to sell to them, how is this going to work, and finally there is the stage of committing and negotiating, where you usually finalize all of the terms of the deal. So, as I said, I'm going to stick to the discovery calls, and the question everybody likes to ask is, what is a perfect sales call? I'm going to tell this up front. There is no such beast. There is no silver bullet. Sales calls are very, very different between vertical stages, sales processes, different customers. So if somebody tells you you need to talk exactly 25.3 minutes, and then you're going to get to the perfect sales rate, this is probably not going to work for you for all calls. This is really dependent on the stage of the call, because when you're having a discovery, you are trying to have a ping-pong discussion with your customer. You give them information, and then they give you information. But when you are demoing, you are going to talk a lot more than they do. You still have to listen to them, but the talk ratio is going to be different. The same goes with different types of customer. A customer that comes in and they already know everything. They read about your product, they read about the competition. They just want to ask their questions. They might provide you some of their information, but they are going to keep you talking because they came to get the information from you. So instead, we ask the question of what are elements of some great discovery calls. And one of the most important parts is getting people to describe their pain points and explaining why your company is the best fit for those pain points. So our problem is producing engagement. How do representatives get people to share their pain? What do they say to get the customer talking and talking about what you care about? So let's dive into the sets of problems that you need to tackle when you're going to ask this supposedly simple question. So what's a conversation? When you want to ask this, you might want to start with a simple feature. You say in the beginning of conversation, you'd expect the representatives to start asking some questions after introducing themselves. So we would like to ask the feature, this word was said in the first 5 minutes, or this phrase was uttered in the first 5 minutes. Unfortunately, people are chronically late for calls. You have the call starting at 10:30, but when you look at the call data, and we recorded already over 500,000 calls, instead of conversation, you always get 1 to 15 minutes of waiting time, waiting music, background noises, people clicking on their computer while they're waiting for the other side to join, people talking to other people in their office, like saying, I'm on a call, or yeah, this call is about this and that, even people singing to themselves. I'm not going to demo that because we value the privacy of our customers, but it's quite amusing. So how do we get around that? And this is where it gets a little bit technical. I'd be happy to discuss, I'm going to drop a lot of technical solutions. I'll be able to discuss them later in the coffee break with people who are interested. But we train a voice activity detection model to distinguish noise and music from actual people speaking. For this, you can use GMM or deep network. And the point is you have to train your own, because sales calls noise is not the same as a supermarket noise, and it's not the same as any other type of model that people build for their own domain. You have to build your data in your domain, train your models in your domain, on your data. Otherwise, if you take something off the shelf or with an API, it's likely not going to capture most of the sounds you find in your world. After we remove the music, we can build the speaking density model. When the call starts, you have the moderator, the automatic moderator saying, welcome to Zoom, and then somebody says, hey, it's Jack, is anyone here yet? But the conversation didn't start yet, even though we can see that there is some text happening. Conversation requires the two parties actually talk to one another, so we build a speaking density model that identifies when does the call really start. So when do a few uttered words become a conversation. And this is just a classic supervised model. Okay, so we wanted to identify the best things that the representatives say in order to get customer talking. We know when the call started, but when the conversation started, but who is talking? This is a big problem, mostly because most recordings usually use agents, so we get a mono-channel recording. Also, people sit in the same room using speakers, so even though they dial in from a single endpoint, we would still get a mono recording of these people. This problem is called diarization, and we would like to take the call and separate it into the different callers, the different cluster of who spoke when, using universal background models, which gives us characteristics of how people sound when they speak. They say ooh or oh, how do they pronounce different words. The model learns how everybody sounds, taking pitch into account and other features, and embedding the speakers using our real data, so we can train on 500,000 calls and embed them in a much smaller space. This is, of course, with deep learning, which allows us then to take these vectors and cluster them. The second step is to build a classifier to identify sales rep versus their customer. Again, we have now all of the data for the different sections of the person, and we can build a classifier that identifies when is a representative talking and when is the customer speaking. Next, so the bread and butter of this industry is the automatic speech recognition. We started this because there was a big revolution in ASR. When you talk to your phone now, it usually understands what you're saying. It got much cheaper, much easier to train, and much more accessible to small players like us. And we want to identify what are the best things reps say. We know who said what. Now we want to know what they said. And the better the transcription, the better the overall results for everything. We can find better phrases and keywords more accurately and identify the content. This again requires domain adaptation. First of all, for the sales domain. So we want to invest in training our own data in some semi-supervised manner, so we can identify places where we are bad at or we are good at and use them to improve our models over time. And this costs money and effort, but if you want to produce the best automatic speech recognition, there is no way around it. And the other one is per customer domain adaptation. So we sell to a lot of tech companies, and they have funny names and funny product names, and you never cover these names in the dictionary or in the whatever kind of pronunciation dictionary you have, which you start with. So you have to adapt automatically per customer, finding out which word they really are going to say. Finally, I'm going to brag a little bit. So after we did all this domain adaptation, if we look at our results and we look at the results you get from top APIs like Google's or IBM Watson's, if I quote some of our customers, you guys are 10 times better. So they're wrong. We're not 10 times better because WER is around 15%, so getting 10 times better is not likely. But we are able to do much better on our domain than whatever you get from off-the-shelf API. Finally, we're going to identify the best engaging expressions. So we know who spoke when, what did they say. We can combine these two data points, classify when the customer said interesting things. Usually we do something semi-supervised, bootstrap, using the known data points that we like, and then try to find similar ones. And finally, expand this search using embedding models. So we can encode sentences into a single embedding and then look for similar sentences to find all of the different variations people use to describe their pain points. And finally, you have to build some kind of rule-based, the bootstrapped model to identify what did people actually say to elicit this awesome utterance. This is bread and butter NLP, but none of this work if you don't have any of the previous data. But is text really enough? So what about affect and prosody? We are talking about recordings, we're not talking about text. I come from text analysis, so I usually think that text is enough, and all of this voice stuff is not really important. But sometimes when customers express themselves, they could do it using the same text but very differently. So they could say, "Oh wow, this is amazing," and they can say, "Oh wow, yeah, that's amazing." And one of them is a bind cue, and the other is not a bind cue. So when we look for this engaging moment, we can also extract the prosody and find out where the stress was in the sentence. Were they really bored? Were they excited? And we have to build this per call, because when you look at people, some of them always are excited, and some of them just have a bored tone in general. So you might want to look for a slightly smaller peak when they are excited. But this has to be perfected per call per user. And this data can be overlaid text and then help you finding places which you really care about, or which of the words had the attention of the speaker. Finally, one last piece. So ASR systems spit out this text, which if you make some experiments, you see that it's harder to read because your mind tries all of the possible parses to get it right. Instead, we want it to look like this, have capitalization, commas, points, everything that makes text be read very, very easily. And this is a classic sequence-to-sequence deep learning problem. We take these, we take the right way to write it, and we can learn how to encode sequence-to-sequence model to restore this text from this text. And this is what we're going to show the end user. when they're going to use our system. So we tell them, this is what you said, this is what the customer said, and they can very easily read it. They don't have to listen in. That's it. I'm right on time. Because I practice with conversation and intelligence. Any questions?
Thank you very much. Questions?
Okay. Do you use a multimodal approach to all of the classification tasks?
Not really.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
For detecting the kind of critical aspects of the conversation, like, you know, where the customer described the pain points, what were the convincing points by the agent. I mean, are you using only kind of just completely supervised data in the sense that you define some kind of types of tags that you attach to the text by people, and then you just train your networks on that? Or do you have also some kind of modeling of, you know, what's a pain point, what's
so what we do is we have some ideas. There are a lot of books written about sales and sales training organizations that tell you what is important. So we start with that, and we also have people coaching using our system, so we can see where they marked. This is where you should have said that, or this is the customer pain point, this is the customer goal. So once you have the system where they can easily interact with the data, they mark it for themselves, and then we can continually learn from what they wrote. But it's basically a supervised model. We use it to bootstrap annotation and then learn a supervised model.
embedding, I mean, neural networks manage to keep on the queues for these types of...
You have to limit it, but we also... Since we're working with data sets which are not, you know, Yahoo sized, so whenever you want to add 1,000 examples to the data set, you give somebody to look at them, and it doesn't cost a lot of money. So, but if you just told them go and find them, it will take them 2 years. But if your AI brings all of the relevant information for them, they can create a supervised data set quite easily.
One more question. You never mentioned language identification in your talk.
We're just doing English. That's where the money's at.
More questions? Okay. Thank you very much again.